Just boop us online.
I did. I booped us online.
Boop.
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 Boop. And we're online.
Cool.
I would like you to know I'm passing on Ritz crackers so that BJ doesn't storm off in anger as I eat them loudly into the microphone.
Well, you wouldn't be able to eat them during the show. That's
Why not?
inappropriate.
Why is it inappropriate?
You don't have a Ritz button over there that you can push. And
Ritz button.
Hey, your hand is recovering.
hey, your hand
I
works.
He has healed you.
Are those your exercises so that you can...
yeah. You got to do finger exercises.
Don't worry, you'll be back to rigorous baiting soon.
Rigorous
That's what got me here in the first place.
Rigorous baiting.
So much baiting.
My name is Rigorous Baiting. What'd you say you was rigorously baiting?
That is a good name, man.
Rigor baiting. Rigorous baiting.
Whoa, my phone just went notification.
Yeah.
I guess we must be live.
We are live.
And there's tweets.
There's
Tweets.
live.
Tweets.
There's tweets. And rigorous baiting.
Rigorous baiting.
What I like is rigor mortis baiting.
No.
You just
No,
like give
no.
yourself like a dead hand.
sir.
No.
Nope.
No, not
no.
like
No,
you know
sir.
actual dead people. I
Nope.
mean like
We
it's
don't.
like The Stranger, but only more severe.
Here's like a stranger.
like you put your hand to sleep so that it's so close,
Right.
so it's just
got-
falling off.
You got a little tingle.
We got a little tingle,
Little tingle.
little tingle.
Eh. Does the stranger thing actually work?
I don't fucking know.
I've never tried it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
injuries
my
may
motor
occur.
control's just no good, so I would have even less if my hand were asleep.
Evan's here for the baiting.
Yep.
Man, aren't we all?
Who is it, man?
for
I
the
mean, that's what I'm here.
baiting.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, man.
Who ain't here for the baiting?
I don't even know.
That's right.
Wait, did you tweet?
Yeah, there's a tweet.
What the fuck?
I'm going to be talking like this the rest of the BMFcast now.
No,
What the
just-
fuck?
Oh, shit. All right.
The fuck is it? Son of a. What the fuck?
Yeah, the rumors of our demise are grossly exaggerated.
Who said we were demised?
Well, there's a hurricane.
Hurricane.
Oh,
The hurricane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It just didn't come this far.
Strong winds are blowing.
yeah.
Just not over here. I'm sorry, I can't stop.
You should stop.
I should stop.
Yeah.
All right. Fine. Chuck asked me. I will
Yeah, so
respect your
politely.
wishes.
I will now retweet.
Okay. Cool. Let us know how that goes.
Notification.
You get notifications for your own retweets?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I like to be
Yeah.
notified of everything happening
Yeah.
on our account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually someone tweeting us something in response to like one of our retweets, and we're just like, "This makes no sense."
Yep.
I wonder why I stopped getting BMF tweet notifications.
All right. Here we go. It's all Arnold Palmer this the fuck up.
That sounds really good.
Lemon.
It's going to be refreshing.
Uh-huh.
I still like what somebody
I'm
said.
enjoying some of your tasty wine.
It just reminded me of that tweet. It's somebody Ice-T should remake Beyonce's Lemonade and call the album Arnold Palmer.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah,
I get it.
it's like that's solid. That's solid comedy there,
Yeah,
guy.
That's
Good.
someone's still using Twitter for good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Was someone at a time machine where Twitter was actually used for jokes?
Oh, look. A
Now that I
joke.
think about it, it might have been Reddit.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
I don't know.
yeah. Was it the dad joke section of Reddit?
That was probably just shower thoughts. I don't know. Seems like a shower thought joke.
Yeah.
That is refreshing.
Like it?
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad you're having a good time over there.
It's like a classic golfer in my mouth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure is.
Next week I'm making a Bobby Jones. I don't know what that is, but
Okay. Should Put Jack
Like,
Nicklaus in
takes
there.
a couple of bags of Vance or something.
I get it.
I get it. It's one thing.
Man,
Rare.
I have not heard or thought of that movie since it came out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's a film that is lost to time. No one cares.
I was somewhere the other day, and they had on the background was that the actual Bobby Jones movie that starred Jesus.
Oh, right, yeah.
And Claire Forlani.
Uh-huh, yeah.
That's where she went.
Was she on a step stool?
Was she on a step stool?
Because she's like 4'6".
I don't know how tall Jesus is. So.
Nice.
Well,
Yeah.
Jesus is
It's weird
however
when you,
tall
like,
he needs to be.
That's true.
Notch in the belt, your hands just go like crumple in. Always feels a little odd.
I did injure my hand. It was a tragic baiting accident. Just
What'd you catch?
Sounds like he missed it.
Herpes.
Yeah. He caught baiting herpes. It's new. Y'all haven't heard of it.
Yeah. You gotta watch out for that shit, man. Get that baiting herpes.
Oh, that's what burpees are.
No, those
Yes.
are space herpes.
Those are
no, that's burpees.
Right.
He's talking about burpees.
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 You obviously have never met anyone who's
Isn't
ever
that
done
the
CrossFit.
is that the Indian currency?
No.
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 Those are doubloons.
Also no.
Yeah, it's called curry.
Currency.
Curry in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cougarans.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's the currency of South Florida.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
That's what happens when I show up. All them cougars ran. They're like, no.
Diplomatic immunity.
It's just been revoked.
And there are people that don't like Lethal Weapon too.
I
It's
don't
like,
understand
You guys
that.
are fucking idiots.
Those are bad people.
Yeah, you people don't understand.
I mean, the thing that's so good about that line is like the all the way around neck.
Yep.
It's just been revoked.
And like right in the forehead.
Yeah. Isn't he like holding his daughter too? Like at the time, like
I think
like
it was that, or he was about to shoot Mel Gibson. I can't remember
yeah.
because they were like in the bottom of the boat somehow.
Because I know like
and-
he had
I think it's holding
kidnapping.
Mel Gibson because Mel Gibson basically died at the end of that movie.
Well,
Yeah.
the daughter got kidnapped. That was like precipitated the whole thing. You know.
Mhm.
I mean,
Man.
the weapon too again. I guess.
It's
pretty
good
good. It's
because
pretty good.
the bad guys like have no redeeming qualities whatsoever.
Nope.
And you're just like, man, I want to see these fuckers suffer and die. And it's
Yeah.
like, yup. Doesn't one of them get a surfboard through the face
I believe so.
in that car wreck?
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, Lethal Weapon 2's good.
And they're the ones that
Watch
have the
that.
giant fish tank in their office that Riggs shoots up and murders all their fish.
Yeah.
That shows them. But you
But you're blick. I was just about to.
that Joe Pesci was tolerable in that.
Yeah. There was just the right amount of Joe
Yeah.
Pesci. Like they
Just enough for you to say maybe he should be in the next one, and then you're like, maybe he should not be in any more of
Yeah.
these.
And then the fourth one, he was just screaming at Chris Rock, and Chris Rock was screaming back, and it's like, you're not even telling jokes anymore. You're just screaming.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Fourth one has like about 35 too many characters in it.
yeah. The fourth one's not great.
It's dense. It's too dense.
Well, it's also one of those where it's like, why did everybody come back?
Because they're family.
Oh, that's right. That does end with, yeah, why can't we be friends? Right. At the very end. Over a photos album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That movie's not good. They don't even use Jet Li very well.
No.
I seem to remember he did have like one cool scene, but probably not. Probably just remembering it from some other movie.
Yeah. Either way, Jet Li should have killed them both at the end of that movie.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway,
Yeah, let's talk
Should
about
we do a podcast?
podcast here. or
Let's talk
something.
about dolls.
dolls.
duh.
It's too bad. Like, you know, not. I'm not saying we should get rid of "I Come in Peace," but it should be another Stuart Gordon poster because then we'd have.
Can't you just superimpose one?
Yeah,
over?
just fucking superimpose that shit.
Oh, I was.
put the
expecting-
Fortress
I
poster
forgot
there.
there's a fake
Yeah.
one there.
Yeah,
It's faking.
One for dolls.
it's not fake. It's a real poster.
We could paint that wall green and then
Yeah,
chroma key it.
yeah,
Oh man. So we can just run the movie while we do a podcast.
yeah. That one gets.
And then
black.
those fuckers are like, "Why don't you just play the movie?" Be
Well,
like,
here
"Look at
you
the
go.
fucking wall, asshole!"
Look at the wall, nerds.
Yeah, when the walls fell.
BMFcast when the walls fell.
His arms open.
What?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
You of all people. Dolls.
All right, let's do this thing.
Yeah, let's do it.
Where's your clapper?
Oh, my hands. My hands are my clapper.
Right.
All right, welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey, BMFcast.
BMFcast.
Episode 440.
Dang.
Yeah,
Dang.
Sweet number.
it's not.
Everyone needs one.
So I'm Yeah. So I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And what we do each and every episode of this here BMFcast is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie, come in here and talk about it for the first half, and then we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks and Robot Jocks.
Yay!
Jocks!
Directed by Stuart Gordon.
What?
We can live.
However, there are bad movies. Fuck, I can't speak. However, there are bad movies that stay away. They get a negative sliding scale, 1 to 5 bags, as in giant bags of trash in which they belong.
Boo.
Boo. Throw them
Horrible
away.
garbage. They're-
Let the refuse gentlemen carry them.
Put them.
To their
Get
final
in the
resting place.
bin.
So, you remember Robot Jocks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Directed by one Mr.
Do I
Stuart
ever?
Gordon?
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
What?
He's back.
Oh my God!
It's been like 340
It's
episode
been a long time.
It has been exactly
Getting from
340
here to there.
episodes.
Hey, look at that. I remembered a thing.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, we did 1987's Dolls.
Dolls.
Because
Dolls.
it's spooky month.
It is, yeah.
Spooky month.
Spooky month.
And it's a spooky movie.
It is. It is a very spooky movie.
So spooky.
So,
Spookiest.
would you like a very quick plot summary so we can talk more about this here movie?
Yes, please.
A group of people stop by a mansion during a storm and discover 2 magical toy makers and their haunted collection of dolls.
That is accurate.
Succinct. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
So, yeah, dolls.
You mentioned Stuart Gordon.
I did.
You want some more behind the scenes?
I would love some more behind the scenes.
He also did
Yeah.
Reanimator,
Uh-huh.
which we liked.
Yes.
He also did Space Truckers,
Spruckers.
which we liked.
Yeah.
He did Fortress, which we liked.
Mm-hmm.
That had the Intestinator in it.
It did.
I forgot about that.
I feel like eventually we need to get to From Beyond. If we've covered Reanimator, I feel like we should do From Beyond.
Oh, man.
I know, it's a wild ride, but
It's
Yeah.
a ride.
I'm just saying, if we did Reanimator, which is regarded
Sure.
as a beloved cult classic, then
Sure.
I think we're safe to do From Beyond as well.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds about right. Written by Ed Naha.
Nah.
Naha. Who also wrote Dollman
Oh.
and Oddballs, which I
The-
guess was an extra movie.
So Yeah.
I
he's
don't
just like-
recall Oddballs.
Is he just like lumped into doing things with 2 L's in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's Spanish.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, so it's
Hell yeah.
Doyman. and
Doyman.
Te llamo Edna.
Oddballs. Yeah.
oh yes.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Stars Ian Patrick Williams, who's in Reanimator, Terror Vision, Robot Jocks, and Bad Channels.
Huh.
Busy dude.
Works for one company, it seems.
Carolyn Purdy Gordon, wife of Stuart Gordon, who's
Oh.
in Reanimator, Robot Jocks, Fortress, Space Truckers, and Life as being Stuart Gordon.
I believe she also starred
in
in
Life.
the wedding of Carolyn Purdy to
Yes.
Stuart Gordon.
Yes. She was the co-star.
Yep. Hillary Mason,
Mm-hmm.
who was in Robot Jocks. She was like the old professor lady,
Yep.
from what I recall. And Bunty Bailey. It just dawned on you.
Yeah, where
Yep.
Hillary Mason. Okay, yeah.
And Bunty Bailey, as Chuck put in the notes, he says, no connections, but she's the girl in the Aha Take On Me video.
Yes. I thought that was iconic enough to mention
It is.
because that video is pretty cool.
It is still cool.
Yeah. I saw, didn't like a car commercial rip it off or something like that?
There's
Yeah.
no much. Commercials will rip off anything.
Yeah. Also, I like her name. Bunty Bailey.
Bunty Bailey.
Bunty
Bunty.
Bailey.
Now batting 5th, Bunty Bailey.
Wonder what she's going to do. Ah, she bunted.
Yeah.
No one saw that coming. Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
dolls.
Man, this is a brisk movie.
Yeah, it zips. Some might say it doesn't have a third act. The third act all takes place in the reading of a letter.
Kind of.
Sort of, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, there are only, 7 characters in this movie?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They each get 10 minutes.
Kind of.
Yeah. And it all takes place in one house.
Yeah. It is if you had watched like Reanimator and Robot Jocks, you would not think this was the same director, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Because it feels like a much more confined, much smaller. It feels like something that would have happened like 10 years later, not like kind of in the middle of him being awesome, making awesome movies.
It also kind of feels like, hey, we have $25,000 and you've got a weekend. Make us a movie. Because this is very much of that like Demonic Toys kind of vibe of just we've got a warehouse and some things that kind of work. So get in there and make a movie.
Yeah,
I would say that
unlike except for like those other things, it's like this. There was pre-production time in this because
there are
Oh,
very
yeah.
much nice sets
Yeah.
in here.
Sure.
there's nice sets and there's really cool practical effects and some of that weird Charles Band, rotoscoping like matte thing, like animation on top of real footage that looks kind of janky, but like when it goes full on real practical effects, it looks rad.
Yeah, the effects are very limited, but when you do see them, you're like, yeah, all right, good on you, movie. You did all right there.
Yep. And there's some cool stop motion animation in
Yeah.
this movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in here. It just doesn't feel like his other movies that we've done.
No.
It feels such a much smaller scope.
Yeah, because those are all very high concept and have a lot going on throughout them, whereas this is a lot of implied stuff for a long time before the movie decides to show its hand. And for a movie that's only 77 minutes, it feels weird like that. It feels like those later full moon movies that we've watched, like Bad Channels and stuff, where it's like, you guys are just taking a 45-minute idea and stretching it as hard as you can.
Yeah.
I somewhat disagree. I feel like this fits in with the Reanimator and From Beyond Stuart Gordon. I mean, those were very limited scope, movies. Like they mostly take place in like one or two locations. I mean, they're very confined movies.
Okay.
I mean, I just feel that they are. I mean, I know From Beyond, and I know they both go weirder and grander, but I mean, they're very limited cast, limited location, like just claustrophobic movies.
I mean, the bulk of From Beyond also takes place in one house. So.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just like, I mean, Reanimator, they never really left the lab that much. I mean, some, but it's like, like basic location kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely scaled down from those. I mean, those are gore fest, crazy things. This is sort of like, we can make a movie pretty quick. And it'll be decent. Because I mean, here's the thing: is like there are moments of this movie that feel like they're shooting for the ripoff of X thing. Like there are moments in this that are very Gremlins-esque. There are moments in this that are very, I mean, you just got your basic haunted house movie kind of thing, for a while, because this movie, for being a 77-minute movie including credits, it takes its sweet time, like getting to like, all right, now shit is actually happening. Something has happened to somebody, kind of thing. It's all foreboding for a good ways on a movie this short.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like when they do finally decide, okay, now you're going to see all the shit that's happening. It's just the buildup doesn't feel like it's earned. It just feels like, okay, now it's time to show the things. Like there's no build up to stuff. It's just, okay, this time we pan the camera down and you get to see what the person is seeing. Whereas like a character will go out before and you don't see anything. But then like the next character who gets fucking murdered, you're like, oh, now we can see the things.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah, there's no build. Like Gremlins is probably the best example where it's like they build to actually showing the damn things until they finally have that awesome shot in the kitchen where he's eating the cookies.
Right.
And it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, look at
but
that
but they've
fucker.
shown like shadows of him before, and they keep hinting at stuff.
Yeah.
And this one they never really do, because it's always, even when people get attacked, you never see anything moving. It's all like shot from waist up, and they're swatting at their ankles. There's just like they're doing the camera tricks of, all right, we're just not
Sure.
we're going to imply a lot, but
I mean, you do
they
get,
don't
along the way you do get like dolls on shelves and their heads will turn or their eyes will move or something like that. But yeah, you would think like this kind of thing would have something where you see a doll running around doing something, and then it builds to, oh no, all the dolls are murdering everything. So it just seems weird that it goes from 0 special effects to, oh my god, look at all the special effects. But you kind of get a special effects sequence early because so basically there's a family driving down quote unquote a road, which is literally just dirt, crap, nothing, and rain comes out of nowhere and they somehow wreck the car.
They don't really wreck it. She just like kind of like drifts to a stop,
I guess,
and then
It gets
can't get
stuck
out
in a big hole.
Yeah.
after
as we see at the end of the movie.
almost hitting a couple punks on
Right.
the side of the road.
yeah, who are partying
Punk
and then
rock
like,
girls.
oh hey,
nearly intentionally, because I mean the husband calls out. I mean, let's face it. Okay, so Stuart Gordon's wife is driving the car, and they basically just make her one of those. I mean, there aren't people that exist like this.
It is the
anymore.
kind-
Cruella de Vil.
Yeah.
It is the character that exists in 80s horror movies.
Yeah.
It's
Even
just like
then,
this.
I mean, I guess you know if we're talking about aping gremlins, it is kind of what's her face,
Mrs. Deagle.
Deagle, yeah.
But it's also like the almost like the obliviousness of like the parents in the movie with the jacuzzi. What the hell's the name?
TerraVision.
TerraVision.
yeah.
Yeah.
with the jacuzzi.
See, you
What
knew
the
which
fuck is
movie I was
jacuzzi?
talking about, though. You knew which movie I was talking
Absolutely,
about.
I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
But like this kind of like this. I'm not a person. I'm a caricature.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because there are sweaters around their necks, you know, like, Muffy,
Yeah.
you know, but
Except like he's still kind of nice because you know, as we find out later in the movie, he married her ostensibly for money. Maybe they're not even married. I don't know, but like he's hooked up with her because it's not his daughter's mom.
Yeah.
The daughter's in the car too.
Right.
And he's run off with her. Mom's apparently described as really nice the entire movie. Believes the girl, like, you know, sounds like a good mom. You basically, and then like he's in the beginning, it's like he's kind of questioning her being awful, and then just towards as the movie goes on, it's like, no, I'm awful too.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't take long.
He's a little hesitant to go full evil
Right.
off the bat, but it doesn't take long
But
or much.
because he calls her on like almost hitting the girl. She's like, "You want me to swing back and try again?"
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, but so basically, like, they have to get out of the car, and luckily there's a house right there, and
Well, there was a light.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But the not mom takes the kid's stuffed teddy bear and just throws it in the woods.
Yeah, I was going to slow them down.
Right.
Yeah. Just like it's just like a moment of being a cruel person.
Sure. It's just like, hey, you care about this thing? Fuck it. And it goes in the woods. So the kid then...
But even before that happens, like that's when they're like, "All right, we give up. We're not getting the car out." Because Dad gets out and starts trying to push it, and he's just all, you know, razzle frazzle, super fudge, you know, all these things. And like the kid's like, you know, don't scream, and then he's like out there back in the back, like trying to push the car or don't curse, and then
Yeah.
and he's like, "I'm going to kill this kid," and or something like that. And she's like, "You want me to help?" And it's like, the girl could
Yeah,
probably
she's
hear you
right there.
Yeah.
yeah.
Christ.
So yeah, I'm saying he doesn't stay quote unquote good for very long.
No.
You know.
It's shocking to us that it's like, oh, they're both shitty.
Yeah.
Because that goes against what movies do.
Sure.
One of them is supposed to be redeemable, and neither of them
Nope.
Yeah,
is.
not really. No.
But anyway, so the kid envisions this thing of the bear coming out of the woods, now full, like, person-sized, and
Like, but still like a teddy bear.
Yeah.
At first, until it goes rawr and like rips off the teddy bear skin, and then it's like an evil demonic bear underneath.
yeah, which then eats the parents, and then she just
Then the movie's over. All
yeah,
right.
Yeah. So then the kids kind of, then the not mom comes over and it's like, come on, kid.
Right,
And
daydreaming again.
Yeah.
And that becomes the running thing of like,
It does, and it sets up this thing that I'm glad the movie didn't do, which was because the movie keeps doing this thing of, man, this kid has such an imagination. And I was like, I swear to God, movie, if you tell me this is all bullshit in this kid's head, I'm going to throw my shoe at the screen.
Yeah.
No fucking way are you going to do that, and luckily it doesn't. But
I'm appreciative of that.
yeah, I figured you would
It's
be.
my TV.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so they go inside and kindly old couple. Oh, well, first
They
of all,
break
it's,
in.
Yeah, they well. So there's a storm door that's open.
Well, no,
that
they
sneak
knock.
into.
I want to point out that they knock like twice.
Yeah.
kind
Very
of
softly,
very
very
gently
softly.
rapping at their chamber door.
They do, yeah.
But
in the middle of a thunderstorm.
But he does it like perfectly timed where it happens with the thunder twice in a row.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, well, they're not home. And then kid wanders over, sees the storm door and the cellar open, and
Yeah.
and then it just starts. Just the deluge of rain comes down. So they're like, oh, we're
Yeah,
going
we got to
in.
get in there. So they sneak in and they're creeping around the basement and doing pratfalls and dumb shit. And then old man shows up with a shotgun, like, "Hey, usually people walk front door."
The reason he pratfalls is because the girl sees something moving in
oh yeah,
the corner, like one of the dolls or whatever.
yeah. It's
She
just
calls
this,
an elf later.
yeah, it's just this silhouetted thing with glowing eyes that we never see anything like that again.
We do.
Yeah.
Not exactly like that.
We do.
Well,
I mean, yeah, we very clearly do in the scene I was talking about. It was very Gremlins-esque.
well.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like, oh, welcome to my house. You should come through the front door. Anyway, here's the missus.
After brandishing a shotgun at
Yeah.
them, and then they're like, oh, well, these storms are storms and stuff, so
Yes.
come on in.
Come into the kitchen. Let us tell you all about ourselves.
And they go through this whole thing of like, we live out here, we like it alone, we like the storms, and
Yeah, and they're basically dressed like they're from the 1800s.
yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And they're practically like they're a more posh version of American Gothic, but they're basically that.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, yeah, we like the storms, and it's good for my creativity. Oh, I make dolls and things like that. And
Yeah, because they're like, "What do you do out here? Witchcraft?" And he's like, "Oh heavens, no,
Like-
but close."
nervous laughter, nervous laughter.
Technically, yes, but actually, no. I just make dolls and toys and things. And they're like, "Oh, that's great." And this is like when the rest of the cast just kind of explodes in because like the two punks just show up. The two punk girls are just like, "We're here."
No, I just want to point out that like they've had this whole conversation about like the storms can last so long out here. It's like an eternal night and all this stuff and all this foreboding shit.
The longest night.
The
in
longest
the world.
night, and and it's good for our creativity and blah blah blah, and all of these things. And then they're just sitting in this little kitchen,
Yep.
and through the door come busting in the two punk girls.
Yep. Oi!
And
What's all this then?
And Ralph.
and followed by Ralph,
Ralph.
just who we haven't met before, but
No.
apparently he tried to stop, actually stop, and then his car got stuck in the same ravine or whatever
Yeah.
gully.
Yeah.
But they come busting in, and just, oi, what the fuck is this shit? Like, and it's just like, oh, come warm yourselves by the fire. And
Yeah.
I only point out that they went on this whole thing because for the rest of the movie after this, the little girl especially is going to reference the conversation that they had when they weren't there, specifically to Ralph, a lot. And he's just like, yeah. And it's like, you weren't there for that conversation.
He acknowledges it. Like at first he's playing along, but then like the second or third time he mentions it or she mentions it, he says something like, "I don't know. I'm just going to pretend I know what you're talking about. I don't." Almost like he realized the character wasn't there, and he's just like, "Yeah, okay, I don't."
I couldn't tell if he was doing that or just because she kept calling him like the little people or the elves or whatever the hell she kept saying that she saw.
From what I read, most of his dialogue was improvised, so it seemed like they just didn't give a shit what he did,
Right.
and that's why he seems so completely detached from the rest of the movie.
Yeah. But they bust in, and then they're just like, well, there's enough rooms for everybody to stay the night.
Yeah, and then they take 20 minutes walking around this house depositing people at rooms that are miles apart from one another.
Yeah, it's a little
Here's
strange.
your room in this wing.
It's a little strange because they put the dad and the evil stepmother in one room,
Yep.
and they put the punk girls basically across the hall from them.
Yep.
Then they take Ralph and the guy takes Ralph and the little girl. I don't know where. It's like a whole fucking tour of the house before
They
it's
go
finally
upstairs,
like,
they go
"Here's your
downstairs.
room."
Well, he told the Judy.
Judy.
He told her before, like, well, I'll give you a tour of the entire house later. So this is when
It's later.
Yeah, I guess they just drag Ralph along for this
Yeah.
too. But
because
Yeah.
Ralph is also childish, so he wants to see those things as well, right?
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, because when he came in, he was just like, "Oh, it's a something doll," and because it's a punch doll.
yeah.
Is
Punch, yeah.
that is a thing.
Mr. Punch.
Well, Punch and Judy used to be this weird puppet show where these these puppets would just beat the fuck out of each other, and everyone was supposed to think it was hilarious, and it's fucking frightening as shit.
Okay.
So it was a reference to that.
Because she's Judy.
It was a punch doll. It looked exactly like that thing, and the kid's name was Judy. So yeah, it's a joke for the 85-year-old people watching dolls.
Yeah. How I get that reference?
Yeah. It was a joke for the two old people in the movie.
What if we call the doll Punch and the kid's name is Judy? Huh?
Yes.
Howdy doody, that'll be funny.
Yeah, so Judy, or the punch doll becomes Judy's best friend.
Yeah,
just
pretty much
because she
immediately.
just declares it because
No,
Teddy
because
has
she
been
doesn't have
thrown in-
Teddy anymore.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and she keeps going around the house asking the old man. She's like, "Well, where are the elves?" He's like, "Oh,
Elves are wherever they want to be.
because she walked by a door where there was just giggling,
yeah."
and she's determined elves live there. But yeah,
Yeah, plus I'm guessing Santa toys making. I
sure,
don't know.
all those things.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually they finally get rooms. She gets her own room.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph gets his own room.
Punks have their room and they're blasting their boombox, and they set up the boombox by just like this mantle full of dolls. They just shove them off the mantle and put their boombox there, and that comes up later in a hilarious way.
But immediately the girl from Take On Me, Bunty, I don't know her name.
Bunty Bailey.
What's her name?
Isabel.
In the movie? Isabel. Yeah.
Isabel.
Yeah, she's just immediately like, "Oi, let's go nick some things."
Yeah.
You know, it's just like,
Well, their plan was how do we get to Ralph so we can steal his wallet? Like that's been their whole thing. It's like, man, at some point he's going to be so stupid we can steal his wallet, and then it just becomes, "Oi, you've got a lot of antiques in here."
well, the first time,
Yeah.
because the old lady comes in and is like, "Ooh, I don't know about this music," and then just, I'm going to still stand here and have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oi, lady, you got any anti-cues here?"
Right.
It's like,
She's like, "What?
what?
You know, old things.
Old things like you.
Well, I suppose yes,
I
I'm
guess
old.
there
And
would be some antiques, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of an antique. And they're like, "Oh, you are. You're old, really old. Jeez."
go to bed. We're going to take your hairbrush because it's old.
Yeah. But yeah, she's just
People love old hairbrushes.
Enid, the other punk, is just like, I don't know about that. I mean, but also with an annoyingly British accent that I'm
Yeah,
not going to do for her.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because she's kind of the normal one. So she's just like, I don't think I'm comfortable with that.
Nope.
And the other one's like, "Oi, all right, I'm going to go out and steal things myself." And then like proceeds to, I don't know where she got the flashlight. If she had that in her bag,
Yeah,
like,
it was in her bag.
it was like one of those big old, like, like.
8
Oh, lantern
D-cell
sized,
batteries.
yeah.
No, or like I was thinking like the old 12-volt like
Yeah, the
lantern
big-
battery
yeah.
things. Like, who the fuck carries those around just randomly? But
That's what you
Isabel.
had before you could blind bears with the other ones.
I guess so.
So
With rechargeable flashlights.
yes,
But yeah, she just goes poking around a room and then finds her old jewelry and some silver hairbrushes and picture frames and shit, and
Yep.
then
The dolls.
dolls are fucking with her the whole time too while
Yeah.
she's checking everything else. Like, because there's a music box up on the mantle that they keep opening up, and she walks over and closes it.
Does that 3 or 4 times.
Doesn't even
Yeah.
really acknowledge it. Just like, I mean,
well, and
a
what
little,
happens is the doll's expressions change
True.
each time, and she doesn't notice until finally there's the time where they're not there anymore.
right. But I mean, I don't know. Just like little things in a movie like this. I know characters shouldn't talk to themselves, but like what people do when they get nervous. And I just feel like it must be spring loaded, or just something to go like, I'm going to explain why I'm being stupid. Like,
It must
It's
be
an 80s
spring.
horror movie.
I just,
we didn't believe in those sorts of things back then.
I don't know, just something where it's like, well,
Yeah, they
why do
need
I
an
keep
outer
closing
monologue.
this? Yeah, an outer monologue, just because.
Ah,
Like,
yes. Outer monologue.
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, anyway, yeah, she gets doll murdered. I mean, like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she gets tripped up, and then you just see this is like, okay, so you don't see any of this happen. You're just seeing what's happening to her. So she gets like tripped up, and then like the dolls put her in the Christ pose, like they stretch both her arms out, and then they just run her head into the baseboard of a wall, and they keep doing that. You're just seeing her body move, and obviously
Yeah.
like grips are doing this to her.
Or you're getting a POV shot
Yeah.
of going into the wall.
yeah,
Yeah, but her face gets all fucked up, and then I guess she crawls her way out into the hallway.
she does. Yeah,
To which little Judy's standing there, just like,
Yeah,
somewhat.
Judy has decided to take Mr. Punch to go get a drink.
Yeah,
yes.
and then she's just kind of standing there, like semi mortified, like not. She's kind of got the like mortified expression, but then she's just kind of standing there, like not screaming or doing anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And she reaches out for her, and then gets yanked
Yeah,
back
and
into the room.
she says something basically silently. I think she says
"Get
like,
out," or
Yeah.
"Get away."
Yeah. And she tries to go tell her parents, and they're like, "We're gonna beat you senseless unless you get out of this room."
Well,
yeah,
I-
and
I-
stop making up your story.
I just want to point out, it's for as shitty as the dad is throughout this whole thing. Like, they have also discovered some like snifter of wine or some shit.
Oh, yeah.
And like when she like there's like, oh, like rats across the house and we have this wine, meh. And then like, but when he walks in, he's full blown drunk. He's just like, what? you wanted some water and some punch?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You took a punch to
Just-
drink.
why?
What?
What? Get out of here.
Yeah. And he like goes to backhand her, and the evil stepmom is like, no, don't backhand her. And then he's like, but I really want to backhand her. And it's like, dude.
And she's like, but then you'll have to pay more child support, my money. And she's like, and then she's like, get out of here because I can hit you. And it's like, no, you can't. Like,
No, you can't.
like not any more than he can. Like I'm speaking from a strictly legal sense.
Yeah, it doesn't work any differently in Britain.
Yeah,
Sorry.
There's no difference from you, the dad hitting her, and you hitting her. It's actually probably more illegal for you to hit her.
Yes.
You're a stranger hitting her. But anyway,
Yeah.
they made a whole movie about that. It's the slap.
Yeah. Yes.
But
Oh, yes, that prestige
Yeah.
TV show.
Oh, yeah.
The slap.
the slap.
So good.
But yeah, she fucks off back and is just like, all right, I guess I'll go wake up Ralph, who's like has been having an outer monologue because he's got a creepy ass clown doll right by the bed, and he's just like, hell, well, it's gonna be a long night, huh?
Why don't we get some shut eye, huh? I'll just not look at you anymore.
Yeah, he offers him the imaginary cookies from the story earlier.
And then like turns out the light, and like a second later, Judy grabs him by the toe.
Yeah.
And he just goes, blah!
Oh, it's you. Why are you here?
Yeah.
I appreciate Ralph because Ralph like actually reacts like someone would react to all this shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's very much he's slightly above this movie.
Yeah.
Like looking down, like commenting on it. Like shit is weird, and he's like, why is no one reacting the right way to this? This is all weird and fucked up. Why are you not okay, time to go now? No, I'm not going in there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. He makes the choice. He's like, nope, we're not going there.
Yeah.
Later on. But yeah, I like Ralph because he has the proper sense of what's going on.
Yes.
As far as how he should be acting and reacting to all of it.
yeah. And Judy's basically, hey, that punk girl's dead. And he's like, with your stories, come on. And then she's like, yeah, you're right. And goes to leave. And he's like, why is there blood all over your slippers? And then it's like, okay, maybe I believe you. And the kid's like, yeah, there was a lot of blood. Just blood everywhere.
There'd probably be some on my slippers, yeah. But
More where that came from.
this is now this is about to be my favorite line of the entire movie because like he gets a full on candelabra and he's following her down the hall, hand in hand down the hall, and he's like, this way, and she's like, to the right, I think. And then eventually he's like, you think? You don't remember where it was? She's like, what do you want from me? I'm 7.
Yeah.
It just,
There's some good back and forth
so-
with that kid.
it's
I
so
don't
great.
I don't understand why, but
but yeah, eventually like they find the blood on the floor, and then
It leads up to the attic.
Well, yeah, it leads through another door, which they open, and is where these stairs go. They go up.
They go up.
Yeah. And he's like, well, you wait down here. So I'm going to go check it out. And she's like, I've been in an attic before. And he's just kind of like, oh,
good
okay,
point.
well,
Good point. Come with me.
fine. You're not an attic novice. I guess come on up here and find the body with
Like
me.
that is not why I said don't come up. It's like there's a trail of blood going up there. Not that you have no experience walking upstairs. But somehow that logic is defeated by just like, I've been in attics before, guy.
Yeah.
Oh, all right then, come on up.
I'm 7. I've seen some fucking attics, man. But anyway, they go upstairs and they poke around for a bit, and
Yeah, there's an Iron Maiden up there.
Yeah.
there's like a stockade.
Stocks,
yeah,
yeah.
like a yeah. I don't know.
And she's like, what's this? And he's like,
It probably hasn't been
It's
used for a long time.
very old. And behind them is the shadow of the Isabel, who has been sort of turned into a human doll.
Yeah.
You can slightly see it enough to you can see the face.
Well, you can see that she's wearing her punk clothes, and then it's just like stupid doll face
Yeah.
thing.
Yes.
Stupid doll face.
But they're basically like, well, nothing up here, let's go. And as they start to go down the stairs, like she goes down, and then unseen dolls trip him down the stairs.
Yeah.
And
And he's like, I think a rat bit me.
yeah. Which he's obsessed with rats. Like throughout this, he's just constantly just like, oh, it was a rat.
It's an old house.
Yeah.
It's raining outside.
Obviously.
The rats are going to come out.
Yeah. But they get up and bump into creepy old man who's like, oh, did you slip on my paint? My paint.
Well, he says that later because first he goes downstairs. They both go and to tell the other people because he bangs on the door of the punk girl. And she's like, "Where's Judy? Why is there blood on you?" Or not Judy. Where's Isabel? Why is there blood on you? What have you done?
Oh, right,
And then the other two come out and they're like, "Oh my God, you're a psycho. You must have killed her." And he's like, "No, she grabbed me out of bed and showed me that." And they're like, "Oh, yeah." So you're walking around with the kid. You're gonna kill my daughter, So it's just kind of like everybody else is like just ready to murder him.
Yeah. And he's just like, what? What?
He's like, no, I'll show you. Come on, we go up. And they're like, we're not going anywhere with you, you murdering son of a bitch.
Right.
And then to this, like, they just basically lock themselves in their room.
Yeah.
And leave the girl out there.
It's been established they don't care.
Yeah, but the girl runs away, and so the dad has to chase her down. And that's when Ralph's just like, oh, geez, oh, God, oh, what do I do? And that's when he's running around and he runs into the old man.
Right.
He's like, oh, you got some of my paint on you, I see.
Oh, yes, please don't tell the missus.
Yeah.
I spilled some red paint. You see, I use it for the blush on their cheeks, and I was going to touch up some of the old ones, and I accidentally spilled
I
it.
do my best work at night.
Yeah.
And as
Me
you
too,
may have
Bungo.
heard, it's the longest night in the world.
Or maybe you didn't hear. I don't know.
Maybe that girl mentioned it.
We're making it up as we go.
Anyway, boogity.
P.S. Boogity. He'd probably say postscript.
Yes, that's true, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're still kind of doing the whole, like, is the girl imagining things? Because Ralph is kind of like, yeah, I honestly, like, what you said kind of makes sense, though I just forgot that there's an Iron Maiden up in the attic.
Yeah.
And stockades and shit,
it's there
but,
for
you
fun.
know,
Yeah.
I guess it's all cool.
But this is where Enid, the other punk girl, is in her room, and it's just she's freaking out, like pacing back and forth, but listening to her shitty generic punk music, and that's when the dolls knock the boombox over, you know, and then just kind of come out and start trying to doll murder her.
Well, so
Dirter. It's called.
Yeah.
you don't see the mantle when the radio goes flying,
Right.
but then you see her reaction. She sees it on the floor and then looks up, and it's just a row of dolls who have suddenly appeared, who are all like with their heads turned, silently judging her. Like, how dare you?
They're all giving dirty looks.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, it's doll attack time. But she manages to get all the way up to the attic.
She runs away and gets away and is like fighting them off, and this is where I was saying it gets very Gremlins-esque because she's like beating the fuck out of the dolls like gleefully at one point, and because I think she starts by like lighting one on fire.
Well, she gets up to the attic and finds her friend finally.
Oh no, she gets out of the room because she's just like, oh, creepy dolls where the boombox was, and then lights a single camera and goes out looking for her. That's how she runs. She gets out of that room.
She's using her lighter.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
got,
she had a single candle though.
that's right. Because
Yeah, but anyway, she does light a couple dolls on fire that like show up and kind of menace her.
Yeah, it's just weird though because she's like super freaked out that her friend is gone, is in super panic mode, and then like when the movie reveals, hey, look, these dolls are here to murder you, her reaction is, fuck that, I'm gonna murder these dolls right back. It's just weird that the moment the movie decides to reveal everything, the first person to react to it is just like, nah.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Fuck all these
The
things.
first one was like a little cowboy doll because it like tried to lasso her hand or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's when
Well,
she
it-
set that one on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she at one point she ends up like taking off her belt, which is like it says like boy toy or something like that. It's like a big fuck you belt buckle,
And she's
just-
beating everything.
But as she's knocking the faces off the dolls, they all have this like weird endoskeleton thing
Yeah,
inside.
there's like zombie corpse
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
inside each
yeah,
of them.
and that's what I was saying. Like, yeah, it makes sense. Like what we saw in the attic or what the girl saw. Well, in the
basement.
cellar,
Yeah.
was like one of the dolls without a face.
Right, I love that song.
yeah, that's a great. It's a great movie too. Dolls without a face.
Yeah.
Vincent Price, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but she's able to light some on fire, smash their heads, beat them down, and she gets downstairs and there's just like the row of little toy soldiers. She's like, all right, I'll take all you fuckers on whatever.
And then for some reason
Great
just
accent.
stands there and watches as they like one puts the trumpet up like and there's a drummer guy and like one guy raises his hand and all the others like lift their little guns and she's like, gee, I don't know what this means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
And gets shot.
And they shoot her. And then
Shoot
she,
her multiple times.
And
turns around
she
and-
turns around and gets shot, squibs the other way.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then she dies.
She gets like the slow-mo face death.
She does,
too.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
like
face
like
right in the
close up on her
camera,
face.
blood dripping out of her
it's
mouth.
like
Yeah.
it's like the psycho death.
Yeah.
Yep. And then at this point, I guess, is when because what happens is all of these scenes seem to take place like they aren't even in the same house.
Yeah.
You know, it's like nobody reacts to any of the other things.
Oh
Everyone
yeah, no,
kind of
these
has
are these
their
are all
own-
individual moments.
Yeah, they have their own sketch, and then that's over with because the dad like has Mr. Punch, and is like, if you don't come out, Judy, I'm gonna tear this thing apart, and tries to tear it and light it on fire and do all the stuff, and it just nothing happens to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't tear it, and then he tries to light it on fire, and then it bites
Yeah.
his hand. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's like
and
holding
then it just gets away from him.
Yeah, 'cause he
and
looks
that's the
down,
last
it's
we
like-
see of him for a while.
Except one
Yeah.
time he drops it, and it like hits the floor, and then bounces up and sits perfectly in a chair,
Yeah.
and he's just like,
the hell?
I mean, it's a reverse shot, but it's
Yeah.
still like he just looked at it like, the fuck?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, he's like,
Yeah, he's gone for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then we cut back to horrible stepmom in bed.
Yep.
And things are like climbing around under the covers. And she doesn't immediately react screaming. She's just like, well, that's weird. What's going on down there?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
what's going on down there?
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is when all the dolls are. We get a lot of stop motion stuff here,
Yeah.
which is all the dolls coming at her with like scissors and pens and whatever. And
They animate the stabbing motion really well with these things. Like
Yeah.
the whole like rear back and then come down and stab a toe or something. They someone really figured out in tests how to make that look really good.
and I want to say this is actually the first time that they show all of them attacking people.
Okay.
I think this happens before.
It could be. It's hard to tell because
before the punk girl
Yeah.
does. But yeah, but this is like they're all stabbing her, and they finally rip off the towel that she's had around her head for the entire movie.
Yeah, it's weird because she had a scarf around her head until they got there, and then she had a towel around her head the rest of the film. I'm like, does she have hair? What?
Yeah, it's very odd. But yeah, and I mean they're like sawing off limbs.
They're trying,
And
yeah.
she just kind of like shakes that off and runs away.
Yeah, but these things have a weird determination. Like they are gonna fucking saw something
they're
off
gonna
of
dismember
her.
something.
Yeah, but they are just like wrist. No, cutting this off. No, hacksaw your ankle. Just this is happening now.
Yeah, but what finally kind of mostly does her in is like one jumps down and stabs her in like between the shoulder blades.
Yeah.
Which she still is kind of like, ow.
Well, she manages to crawl out in the hallway and is just
Yeah.
like, well, I got away from them. But
Yeah,
then
but there's a row of dolls at the window, and then she's just like, well,
Yeah, there's a row of dolls like in front of the stairwell.
yeah,
And she's like, nope, can't go down that way.
she gets this look on her face like, I know what I'll do. But then it's like, no, this was the worst idea. Because it's the last time we see her alive.
Yeah.
Because she jumps over this row of dolls and defenestrates herself out whatever 8th floor they're on
Yeah.
of this mega house.
Yeah,
and
head
she-
first
she
defenestration
did.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because I guess the dolls and or the old people drag her back up to the room, prop her up in bed, and then there's a whole like husband's oblivious because like he comes back like he's all sweaty from having done all of his dumb shit, and then it's just like he starts to climb into bed, and at first it's just a sheet, like plain sheet, she's covered up, and then like when he gets to the other side of the bed, it's like just a little trickle of blood starts coming where her face is,
Yep.
and then like he's like, oh, I stink, and she's not moving. Well, don't move, honey. I'm gonna go take a quick shower.
Right.
And when he comes back out of the shower, it's just like it is just all blood on this one
Yeah.
side of the sheet, and he
Yeah.
still doesn't notice. And
He also comes out wearing the coolest fucking pajamas.
Oh yeah.
Fucking
they're golden black.
Hugh Hefner.
Golden black.
They're
yeah.
golden black, but they're like Tomax and Zaymot because
Yeah.
like one
Yes.
half's one side golden black, the other half's like I know dirty
Yeah.
G.I. Joe reference, but the other half's like opposite golden black. It's just like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
It's a
pretty
nice set of pajamas.
good. and they're silky and old man esque.
Yeah. I'd wear them.
And he like draws the sheet back like, okay, it's business time. And like, I don't know how her corpse manages to magnetize to him,
Yeah.
but it just like reaches around and hooks onto him.
Stuart Gordon certainly thought she was attractive.
I get it.
That's a joke. I get it.
But he is just like, dead lady on me. How did now I'm upside down and she's on. It's just like, he's just like,
She becomes the naked gun pillow.
yes, exactly. I'm just fighting with this thing that is murdering,
Yeah.
even though there's no reason for it to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he runs out of there and
He has
Yeah,
some pretty
and-
good reaction though. Like like when he finally gets her off, he's just like ah.
yeah. Yeah, because like half
And then
her
it-
face is missing.
And then he takes like just a beat, and then he's like, "That fucking Ralph,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
psychopath murdered
So
my
he
wife."
immediately smashes a chair
Right.
and is walking around with basically one of the legs with like a nail sticking out of it.
It's
And he's
just
like,
got
I'm
a
gonna
pointed
fucking
stick.
kill some stuff.
Yeah.
What
Come on,
they've got,
Ralph.
What if they got a pointed stick?
Yeah. Shut up.
Meanwhile, Ralph and Judy have kind of had their own adventure
Yeah.
because, like I said, nothing really connects for a while.
no. Yeah.
And yeah, he and Judy have gone like basically down into like the basement area because she's like, this is where the elves were.
It's the room that they both heard the giggling because there's one point where he hears the giggling. He's like, "Oh, that must be in my head." Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, he had also talked to Mr. Punch while they were like sitting in the kitchen or something. He's trying to
True.
clean up the blood, and she walks up with Mr. Punch. She's like, "Things are bad in here." And he's like, "Yeah, tell me the fuck about it." And then he's like, "Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but we just need to make it through the night,
Yeah.
and we'll be all right. And then he starts saying something about like, yeah, I don't. There's something strange that I can't put my finger on around here. And then like the Mr. Punch talks directly to him and says, "You know what's in your soul, Ralph."
Look into your heart, Ralph. You know it's to be true. And
Yeah.
it's like, what?
Yeah, and it doesn't really
Only
like.
what you take with you. Which, I mean, she had been moving in its mouth and kind
Yeah.
of doing a weird noise. And so it kind of fit where he was...
He
I
does
could-
look at her like,
wow, your ventriloquism got really good.
Yeah,
and also
kid.
how'd you
and
move
she
the mouth.
doesn't acknowledge it at all.
No.
So that's again, it's like, what is?
again, I was still worried that this kid was just envisioning all this shit,
Yeah.
and that's why she wasn't
Like, is
reacting to
that
anything.
Twilight Zone thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but they end up like she's like, we need to go down here where the elves are, and he tries the door. He's like, nope, it's locked.
Yeah.
Not gonna go down there. Sorry, not gonna make it. And then the door just kind of opens right after he says that, and he's like, fuck.
Yeah.
So they go down there, and
He also says something like, too, like, just my luck, it'll be a bunch of pygmies with sticks or something. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Blow
darts.
yeah. And it's just like, why would that be your luck? Like, he acts like, man, my fortune teller said this is exactly how it
Yeah.
would go out.
the old gypsy woman told me this.
When I broke her dream catcher.
Yeah.
So why he says that, I don't know. But yeah, they go in, and it's just full of dolls. And he's like, let's not be in here.
Yeah, and this is the point where she's just like, they're all alive, Ralph.
Yeah.
You know that, right? And he's like,
The
what?
dolls are alive? This is
Yeah.
your little people, the dolls?
Yeah.
And then they're alive.
Yeah, and
Well,
then
they
all
all
look
kind
at
of
him.
like they all kind of surround the door, and they like there's some behind her, and
Yeah.
I just love this shot because like she's standing there, and there's some dolls behind her, and then like it shows like the door, and now there's a big stack of dolls, and then they cut back to her, and there's like even more dolls behind the little girl, and it's just like it's cool. They went and
It
found
is a good shot when they all look over and they're like, yup.
Yes. I mean, I'm just saying, good on the props department for going and finding or making this many creepy ass dolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's just
Yeah.
it's cool. Like,
Good on the doll wrangler.
The dangler.
The doll man.
Right.
Good for
yes.
the doll man.
That's probably how that
doll
movie
person,
came about.
doll person.
His interview was just, I heard you guys might need a doll man. A doll man. They're like, you're hired, sir.
Get in here.
Would these also be demonic toys by any chance?
Yes, hang around. We will need you for that as well.
covered.
But yeah, so Ralph is basically just like, nah, fuck that, and makes
Yeah.
a run for the door.
And the thing is, Ralph was doing so well.
Yeah.
Where she's like, they just want to be friends with all of us, Ralph. And he's like, no, I think I'm done here.
Yeah, and just starts stomping his way towards the exit, like murdering these dolls, and then the
And-
dolls start to murder him.
Yeah.
Like they just. So there are some good shots of stop motion things climbing up him and knocking him down, and then other shots are just grips throwing dolls onto
Yeah.
him as he's on the floor. And eventually, the Judy's just like, "No, leave him alone. He's my friend."
Yeah, she says, stop, you're bad dolls.
Yeah, and so they like 4 of the dolls, I guess, like the leader dolls, go and have a little
Like
conference.
that one with that
The
little
hero-
fucking
hero
bandito
dolls.
mustache.
yeah.
That little
And-
slimy son of a bitch.
And there's a super judgy sailor boy
Yeah.
who's just got this look on his face like, I don't like him. I don't like Ralph. But they have a little powwow, and then it's like,
Most sailors don't like Ralph.
oh, that's yeah, I guess that's true. But they're just like, they indicate that they're free to go. They kind of part ways, and
Yeah,
you
and
know.
she keeps like translating for the dolls.
Yeah.
Because she's like, they've agreed to let us go.
And Ralph's like, really? Well,
Yeah, well,
let's
all right
do
then.
that then.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they leave, and like they get outside, and the dad is there. He's like, Ralph. He's coming at him with the chair
Yeah.
leg, and Ralph's just like, I don't understand. Dolls are in there.
Well, he goes, there you are, you son of a bitch. He goes, your dad sounds angry.
It's really good.
Yeah. So they have a little bit of a fight.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Ralph ends up
triangle
punching him and like doing the whole like, oh, I've never punched anyone
Yeah.
handshake thing.
yes.
Yeah, but then he gets knocked out, and Judy somehow gets knocked out in the chaos as well.
Oh, he backhands her. The
Yeah.
dad backhands
Yeah,
Judy.
he
Oh, that's
totally
right,
hits her.
okay.
Yeah, and that's when Punch shows up.
Yeah,
Punch the doll.
yeah, because he's about to.
Well, he's just like I think
he's
he's
about
just
to
sitting there.
bash in Ralph's head
Yep.
with his little chair leg.
Oh, and no, off screen like a screwdriver.
Oh, that's
Yep.
what. Yeah.
Is message for you, sir. Just boing.
I love that it hits him in the hand, and I love like that split second reaction that he has each time, where like it hits, and then a second later he's like, ah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
So like he pulls that out and then sees Punch and just flings this thing back at him, and then
I think it dodges.
Yeah, it dodges it,
And then he's just like,
he throws
oh.
an urn at it or something.
Yeah.
A vase, something at it.
Yeah. And he has a sledgehammer at this point, right?
He eventually gets that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, he's...
Well, he dropped the chair leg when he got the screwdriver to the hand or whatever it was.
Right, yeah. So he upgraded.
Yeah. Yeah, he goes. He's like, forget about Ralph and my kid. Like, I'm gonna murder this punch doll.
Well, sure. That's the most clear and present danger at the moment.
Yeah.
To which he basically does by just smashing it with the sledgehammer right in the face while screaming, "Fuck you, Clowny!"
Yep.
Real loud and real good, like it's been his nemesis this entire film, even though it hasn't.
No.
He's just tired of these motherfucking dolls in this motherfucking house.
Yep.
And it's at that moment that ye old man walks down the stairs and is like, "Hey, fucking language over here!
Look at this motherfucker fucking that up here.
This motherfucker saying motherfucker over here."
Yeah. And the dad's just basically like, y'all are witches.
And they're like,
And he's like, "Yeah,
yeah. Oh,
yes.
look. Check out the big brain on Brad.
How'd you know? Anyway.
Yeah. He's like, give me back my daughter. I'm leaving. And
They're like, well, we can
she's
fix
safe."
that punch. And he's like, what do you mean? I fucking smashed it up. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, don't worry. We'll fix it. And then, he opens up like a pocket witch watch. I don't know if that has something to do
Pocket
with
witch.
it. Yeah, pocket witch watch. And he just starts...
It starts playing some creepy child music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, he starts transforming into a doll, which...
Yeah, his face starts... It gets latexy
Puffing
and
out.
weird.
It's
and,
cool ass effect. Plus his hands like get all big and
Yeah.
woodeny, and then he shrinks down and gets the punch face, and he's still got his
Cool
sweet ass
pajamas.
pajamas on. But then they say something like they put his old punch hat on. They're like, "Do you think this clashes with his new style?"
I like his new modern wardrobe.
Yes. Boogity.
Exactly.
Boogity.
Boogity. Yeah.
But so yeah, dad's a punch doll.
Yeah. Yes. Then basically just like Ralph and the girl wake up in the study or whatever.
Yeah, and they're in clothes.
Yeah,
they're in
they-
like regular daytime clothes.
They've been dressed, and it's explained that they got knocked out.
But
They've
they
been-
got up again.
Yeah.
Wait,
never
was
gonna
gonna
keep
keep
them
down.
Yeah.
They've been out about 3 hours. A lot of things went down while they've been out, and here's a letter explaining it all.
From your dad.
Yes.
Sorry, don't love you. Me and the missus have run away to Europe, and we're changing our names.
Yes.
Yeah.
So don't come
Well-
finding us. We've left just enough money for you to get
Yeah,
back to
yeah.
Boston to your mother.
Yeah, it basically says, you'll be happier with your mother.
Yes. We don't
And
actually love
We
you.
ran away
we've-
to South America.
We've moved to another country, and we've changed our names.
Yes.
Don't come looking for us.
You'll never find us again.
And then Ralph's like,
Tally-ho.
what about the girls? And they're like, oh, yes, other letter.
No, it's the
No,
same
it's the
letter.
same
He
letter.
just pulls it back out and says, "Oh yes, P.S. We've taken the girls with us."
That's
Yeah.
postscript. We've
And then
fixed-
Ralph is like, "Can I see that?" And before he even finishes the sentence, the dude goes, "Nope." Crumples it up, throws it in the fire, and because it's a piece of flash paper, it goes up instantly.
God, I love it so much that Ralph's like, what about the hitchhikers? He's, oh, yes.
All right.
We took them too.
By the way,
He's a very generous man. Didn't seem like a generous man. Well, sometimes people surprise you. So, anywho, off you should be getting, right?
yeah, and here's your car. We've put gas in it. Oh,
Yes.
and we got it out of the ditch, and everything's fine.
And then they're like, so you're going to go now? And Ralph's like, yes, we should probably go. And thanks for the hospitality and everything. We really should be going. And then they're like, you could stay here forever. We could really use a child and a man with a childlike imagination. You could stay here forever. Like, nope, we really should be going.
Really gotta go. Cubs game at 4.
It's a double header. Harry Carey's going to be drunk by the 7th inning.
Really have to get my fancy ass car out of here. Teddy's in the front seat, and the girl is thrilled, and Ralph's like, "What the fuck? How did that get there?"
She's just all calm, like, they said toys are very loyal, and he came back to me. And then he goes running back. He's like, no. And they're like, and then she just goes like, I think Teddy should stay here with you, and I'll
Yeah.
come back and see him next summer.
And they're like, "Well, please write first, because there might be other murders happening,
Right.
as you will see in the closing credits.
We will.
This
Okay,
happens
bye."
all the time."
And Ralph's got a sweet ass car.
He does.
It's like a
Yeah.
Morgan or something.
Yeah.
It's neat.
I don't know
But-
how a schlubby guy from Chicago is torting around Europe in that thing.
Because this is in England, Chuck. They're pretty easy to find.
No, I'm saying this
Oh, right.
schlubby guy.
I know
like,
it's supposed to be in America, but they're filmed in England.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
You can just
I
find
thought it
one.
was supposed to be in England
I
because they
thought
were on
so.
vacation and the
Yeah,
and
and
the,
Is that what it
because
is?
they were because like the
And the steering
and
wheel's on
every
the wrong
car was
side.
on the
Yeah.
the wheel was on the
Oh,
wrong
okay.
side.
All right. Fine.
yeah, and
That's
we don't
fair.
have chav punks in the United States.
That-
Well,
you're not. No, I don't know where you're shopping.
Wait, what?
you have to go to the good punk store to
Yeah.
get the.
But remember, like the evil stepmom was like, "We should be in Monte Carlo by now. Why are we?" They were clearly,
All right. Fine.
yeah,
Fine. They were in England.
yeah. But anyway, Ralph is just like, "Nope, gotta go.
Yeah.
This is my kid now." And the kid's like, "You're gonna love my mom. She's pretty." And he's like, "Okay." And then they drive off, and then this other car just immediately, like on cue, pulls right up, gets stuck in the same hole, and a family comes out of the car all yelling and screaming at each other like
Yep.
everyone hates each other
Well,
on
all the
this.
Italian credits are rolling by.
Right. So just nonstop murder party at the dollhouse.
That's actually true in Jacksonville.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
We have a local strip club called the Dollhouse.
Every
And-
town
and
has
there
a
were-
local strip
And there
club
was a
called the
famous murder
Dollhouse.
there.
Yes.
Yeah. So not nonstop, but just one.
It just, yeah. Probably a few
Well,
others
maybe.
in a cursory manner. Yeah, Dolls is over.
It is.
Yeah. Dolls is over.
It is, yeah. Dolls.
Yeah. Yeah. No ancillary awards. No incident. No one really freaks out that much. No one freaks out to the level that they should for things that are happening in this movie. But
No.
I think Ralph has the appropriate level of fuck, man.
Ralph acts like a Ralph should, I think, in this situation.
Yeah, good
He
for
does.
Ralph.
Ralphie's be Ralphin'.
No, Ralphie's gonna Ralph.
Totally.
All right, I can go.
Okay.
I'm going to give this 2 jocks. I like this little movie. I don't love it, but I mean, I definitely say you should watch it. I think with a little bit better script work, I think you'd have a really solid movie here because I really like what's going on in the special effects department a lot. The girl's actually good. She's not annoying, especially for like someone that they just found because it's like an introducing this person. She's good, and I mean they give her some of the quippiest, funniest lines, which I think is interesting. I could almost go higher, but it's just like it's just kind of a broken plot of a movie. Like I kind of like how it all comes together, and I like who goes out and how they go out, but it's just like as you said, it's kind of like they sort of skip the third act and. You know, it's just like, hey, you know.
By the way,
Well, I mean
the
it's
girls left too. See you later.
I mean, it is a great third act because you know it's explained away by a letter written on flash paper. So you know, there's that, and there's just like all of the Ralph like we've gotta fucking go now kind of things going on.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
but I don't know. I'm tempted to go higher, but 2 jocks.
Okay. I can agree with that. I was sitting at a 1 the whole time. I was like, you know, there's enough little things in this to barely make it recommendable, but sitting here talking about it made me feel kind of the way we felt during TerrorVision, which was that movie was okay. That movie's fucking a blast to talk about. So I think 2 jocks is fair. It drags for a long time. It has that kind of that. It's weird to say B tier Empire Picture / Full Moon thing. Like they have their A game, which they clearly bring, you know, in fucking Robot Jocks and other stuff like that. But then they have these kinds of movies where it's just like, oh man, you guys you were about to lose something, some deal, some bond, and you had to crank something out. And those just always feel so padded, even though they're so short. That's what I don't understand. Is that they just feel like they're wasting time, but you realize they don't have a lot of time to waste. Like, it's barely over an hour. So, yeah, it's okay. It has plenty of moments in it that are surprisingly good. The effects, once they show up, are good.
Yeah.
It just, getting to some of that is a little clunky.
I would just like to point out that the little girl, this was her last
Yeah.
acting credit, and yet it was an introducing credit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just
Well,
I clicked on it. I was like, did she ever go on to do
This
anything?
was
No.
apparently made before From Beyond,
Oh.
and then the effects took so long to do
Okay.
that it came out later. So,
I got you.
but yeah, I guess apparently she did not like the experience.
Apparently, she was constantly traumatized by people on set because she didn't like the big teddy bear costume, and I guess people were
They kept
egging that on,
jumping
kept-
out
yeah,
of shadows. Yeah. She
I'd
probably
have
child.
fucking quit movies at that point.
Yeah.
too.
went straight to therapy.
That's not cool.
No, it's bad.
And she's
It's a
been there
child.
for 30 years.
What's wrong with you people?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I can agree with Two Jocks. There's some fun stuff, and like just I appreciate the old people just hamming it up in like they're in this Hammer horror movie, and everyone else is just in this 80s slasher movie type thing.
Yeah.
Being just complete caricatures of human beings, and there's and just a schlub like Ralph being the only one who's like, man, this is fucked up, and like figuring out what's going on is kind of nice. But yeah, I mean it's better than it should have been. Like that's like if you saw this on paper, you'd be like, man, this is gonna be fucking dumb, isn't it? But there's a real, it's dumb, yes, but there's real enjoyableness to that dumbness of it.
There's a charm to it. Like
Yeah.
knowing it was like an Evil Dolls movie and Stuart Gordon, I was like, oh, I don't know, is this gonna be bad? I hope it's not bad.
Why?
Bad.
Why are you saying
Yeah.
it like that?
Oh no.
Oh no,
Because
Dolls
it's
is
not
bad.
good. I was really worried that this was just going to be like straight trash as opposed to, good trash movies, enjoyable trash movies, as in 1 to 5 jocks after Robot Jocks. I think this ended on a 2. I was kind of close to a 3 once we were done talking about it, because there were a lot of, like you guys said, a lot of little things that just that lift this up. Like Ralph's just constant Ralphing.
No,
Constant being Ralph.
Ralphisms.
Ralphisms, yes.
There's no Ralphing.
And the effects are just really, really good. And the old people, whatever their names were, I cannot remember them.
Gabrielle and Hillary.
That's it.
Gabriel. Oh, sorry, Gabriel.
And Hillary. Just totally fucking going for it is a treat. So it could have made it to a 3 maybe, but I'm going to stick with a 2. Solid 2. Good job.
Yeah.
Sadly not 5 jocks, but what is really?
Robot Jocks.
Robot Jocks.
Oh yeah, Robot Jocks.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like Robot Jocks.
Well,
Me too.
On that note,
let's take a break, shall we?
Let's.
Can we watch Robot Jocks?
No.
Oh.
We don't have that much time.
actually, we have a lot of time.
We don't have 2 hours of time.
Hey,
What is the alternate cover art on the inside?
it's just the poster.
VHS thing you've seen a billion times.
Oh.
But no, that's what you want it to be. You want it the original art or their weird, dumb drawing.
Well, did you flip it or?
You flipped it. No, it came like this.
Oh.
And I love the original The Thing poster, but their new drawing for The Thing is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the few there where I'm like, okay, I can leave this one out. I also like they put out I Come in Peace, right?
Yes.
I like that it had Dark Angel on the other side. That was kind of nice.
Yeah. Someone there is paying attention.
Yep. Yeah, they're like, if you're going to buy a physical copy, we're going to give you something more than just, a disc in a plastic case.
Yeah.
We're going to put some thought into this artwork.
Well, I mean, considering that they don't have any kind of digital presence at all. Like, you can't
Yeah.
buy Shout Factory movies digitally.
Wonder if they just don't have rights to do any of that, or
They probably don't, but
yeah.
you also really can't buy their movies, the movies that they release, like through their original rights holders.
Yeah.
So,
Man. Like iTunes keeps changing covers of stuff.
yeah.
And God, like I have all the Spider-Man movies and everything pre-Homecoming, they just redesigned into the worst covers of all time.
Oh no, you want to see one of the worst covers? Look what they've done to the Die Hard series on iTunes.
The Die Hards are bad. The Rockies are bad.
Oh, the Die Hards are even worse. They were bad. They got worse. They
Oh.
just recently redid them, I think.
They redid them again?
I think so.
Let me see the Dies Hard on here.
I didn't see anything past 1, but I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah, they're pretty. At least they're like the shots from the original movies. Like the original posters. I believe they're original posters, or they were the first VHS artwork. Is this what you're thinking, or is it something different?
No, that one's fine. Like the original Die Hard, that's with the Vengeance.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, yeah, the original Die Hard looks. There's Nakatomi behind him.
I know. I just I don't even think that. I think a different one was showing up on the Apple TV. It was like
Okay.
it was so fucking airbrushed.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was worse than that Hudson Hawk cover they did a few years ago, where it was like, who the fuck
Yeah.
is that?
I saw there was some deal, so I was looking through like the Superman 6 movie collection or whatever, and they've redone all that art. And I'm looking at Christopher Reeve on the redesigned Superman 3 art, and I'm like, who the hell is that? That's like Lorenzo Lamas. What have you done?
Yeah, I like that the Marvel movies, some of them, they change the covers to have the consistent theme. And then like Iron Man 2, they're like, nah,
Nah.
we'll just give you that other poster.
Yeah.
Eh.
Meh.
It's
Yeah, I wish like once you owned it, then you had like a poster art gallery.
or you could just pick.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
once you own it, it's like, okay, here's the poster art that's existed over time for this that have been on our service.
Yep.
I will admit, I do like that they kind of tried to make the Predator ones consistent.
Yeah. Except, I mean, to me, like sometimes, like that's actually confusing. Like when if you don't see the titles, it's just like, all right, which one's which?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, just
Yeah, and
I'm weird
the
with that
Spider-Man
poster.
ones, they just gave that to a fucking intern. I don't know what the fuck somebody was doing with those, but they're atrocious.
do you have the amazing ones in there? Are they
Yeah.
the same kind of weird?
Yep. I
neon
guess
art?
they decided they were going to make them all consistent.
Oh,
So yeah,
look at that.
it's the same bullshit.
Back on their bullshit.
Yep. Just like me.
yeah.
Big Lebowski, they used the collector's edition cover, which was an all right one. Yeah,
I don't
man.
know. I wish all these services would take a page from Plex and just be like, yep, here's a poster gallery, browse it. Maybe you have to do it on the desktop, maybe you can't do it on your phone or whatever, even though you totally fucking could, but
Yeah.
like
Well, the other thing I wish is that, like Vudu has a problem with this, where a couple of the Marvel movies are under M.
Oh, like Marvel's
The Avengers.
yeah.
Yeah, but like the other Avengers movies are where they should be. And I'm
well,
like,
something about they just couldn't call it The Avengers because of the TV show / movie.
Yeah.
So the first one they had to do Marvel's The Avengers, but then it could be Avengers Age of Ultron, Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but I'm sure there's some copyright thing out there where it's like you can't release a movie called The Avengers.
whatevs.
I know. I mean, I feel like they probably should have just called it like Avengers Assemble or, call
Yeah.
the first one something different.
And apparently everybody's pissed that Mission Impossible, they redid all of them,
Yeah.
to have the thing on the side, and then Fallout, they didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Yep. Well, does anybody have anything for the second half besides me?
I do.
Oh, Chuck does. Chuck does. Let's do second half, hey?
All right,
I was going to clap.
Governor.
Let's go clap it. All right, and welcome back.
Hey,
BMFcast,
BMFcast, second half.
BMFcast.
Time for more halving.
Cool.
So, I saw a couple movies. One of them is in a theater, and
Cool.
given the week it is, you can probably figure out what I went to see.
I bet I know.
Yeah, I went to see Venom.
You see all the superhero movies.
I pretty much do, and it's not Movie Pass, but I have a pass that allows me to see movies, so
Oh, a movie. Pass.
it allows me to, make poor choices in life sometimes. Here's the thing. I've seen a lot of people people love to shit on movies. And I get it. Like we kind of do sort of, but we don't want to. Like we shit when it's appropriate to shit. Venom's
Yes.
not great. Venom's also not bad. Venom just is. And that's kind of its problem. It's just aggressively mediocre. And
See, I've seen people saying like, "This is worse than Catwoman."
no, and those people are high on fucking crack because
yeah.
Catwoman is fucking atrocious.
It is.
It is atrocious on every single level. It is. I don't think Halle Berry's a good actress. She's putting on one of her worst performances besides Storm in the X-Men movies. And Sharon Stone is following right in suit. I mean, at least Sharon Stone has the capacity to be a good actress. This was just like, hey, every bad instinct you've ever had, like Basic Instinct 2, fucking do that here. Yeah, but no, it is nowhere near Catwoman. Catwoman is fucking awful. Venom is just unnecessary, and and strangely divorced. I mean, mostly divorced from Spider-Man. That's the weirdest thing about it is.
Well, it was made to keep rights to a movie.
Is it though? I mean, because like I thought, just like they had to like spit out a Spider-Man movie, and it keeps their Spider-Man rights going in perpetuity. You know, like I mean, I thought Homecoming would have satisfied all Spider rights for the foreseeable future. You know, for Sony. I don't know. I mean, I feel like this was like, no, it's time to make a Venom movie, and we have a plan, except we don't at all, because they're dropping Spider-Man related shit left and right. You know, they're dropping names and things like that, but it fucking means nothing. It's just like, whatever. It's you know, it's the beginning of the movie, so it's, you know, Venom comes from space, so at least they got that right. You know, that it is like an alien fucking symbiote kind of thing. But you know, it's in a rocket that crashes, and so like, you know, they have to go collect them and find them, and one of them gets loose, and that's the Venom one, you know, that finds its way to Eddie Brock eventually. But like one of the astronauts on the thing they're like, oh, that's Jameson, and it's like, okay, you're doing, you know, like there's John Jameson, like we're gonna fucking like Werewolf in the Night or whatever the fuck he was, or you know, Man-Wolf or whatever the fuck he was, I don't know, but like, no, it's just like they just want to drop that name because they can, I guess, and it means fuck all. It's just like, hey, you get that. And that's the weirdest thing. It's like movies like this. It feels like, okay, are you trolling comic book people? Because like, you know, you said it in this universe and you're dropping hints, but then like you're not doing anything else right. You know, like to have Venom sans Spider-Man is weird. Like that just doesn't make sense. Like everything else about the Venom entity is right, except that this all takes place in San Francisco because like Eddie's apparently been an asshole and burned his bridges in New York, so it explains that, like, okay, well, fresh start in San Francisco thing, you know, so that all of our movies aren't set in New York, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, Venom's whole thing is it is two creatures, you know, a person and a creature who both absolutely hate Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah, and
like that is Venom's reason for existence. Is these two fuck-ups found each other, and their only goal is to murder Spider-Man at some point.
Yeah, and
then when you take that out, it's like, okay, what is this character now?
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of how it is. It's just like, you know, it's two completely opposing, you know, mindsets that have to learn to work together, I guess. I don't know. It's just
I've heard Tom Hardy is crazy in this though. Like he's worth seeing it for.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely doing something.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, that's the thing is, like, I can't say this is a bad movie. It's a bad Venom movie, you know, strictly speaking, because, as you just said, it removes what makes that character and what makes that character or characters interesting. You know, like, it's... And then it's like, well, we got it right. It's, you know, it's finally a fucking alien thing, and it's finally, you know... I mean, I guess a lot of things in Spider-Man 3... technically were right. I mean, did they even really explain where the fuck it came from in Spider-Man 3?
No,
They're
there's
like,
just a little comet that lands in Central Park.
Yeah, so again, from space, but that's about it. You know, not like anything beyond that. But same kind of, they did address that, like, you know, the sound of bells and things of that frequency mess with it, you know, and all that. But they hit all those points, but then it's just like, it's over, and I don't know. It's just like, it feels like the last... I mean, I'm not going to be spoiler, but it feels like the last 10 minutes they were just like, oh yeah, I guess we got to do some things to tie the room together, because I don't know, fuck, is it spoilery? But like, they dropped the Stan Lee cameo in the last 5 minutes. Like seriously, it's just like, oh fuck, we forgot that. I mean, it just really feels like it's just like, oh yeah, shit, we were supposed to do that because, you know, reasons. And then the mid credits thing is like, you know, teasing exactly where you think it's going to go with a character you think it's definitely going to have, and then it's like actor reveal. You know, like this person's going to play them if this movie makes its money back.
It did.
I guess it did. So
that's what happens when you put a movie out at the right time, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, the thing is, like, I can't even say it's a bad movie. It's boring. It's average. It's aggressively mediocre, and it is a bad Venom movie. If you're going by that gauge and you want to get outraged, sure, yes, it is a bad Venom movie. I will give you that, but it's otherwise passable, I guess. You know, like, just watch it on video when it's there. Just if you care at all, you know. Like, right. I mean, at least like they make Venom look right and not like Topher Grace with some shit on him, you know, like where he's like skinny little fuck, you know, like
Topher Grace with some shit on it.
Like I don't know.
I strive to look as good as that.
Wait, it was made by the director of Zombieland?
Yeah. Which, yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense now.
explains some things.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. It's okay. It's certainly not the steaming pile of shit that people. I mean, I can name plenty of worse comic book movies than this one. I mean, Catwoman probably being at the top of that list, despite how much I hate the Spawn movie, the original Spawn movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like as much as I hate that, Catwoman's still definitively a worse movie because at least there's something. And like I liked Spawn up to a point, and then it became a CG nightmare / the John Leguizamo fart show. So it's like from that point forward, it's like fuck everything about this. But there was something interesting in the beginning, at least. That Catwoman had nothing. Elektra's just boring as fuck.
Yeah, Elektra is, I think, my king of bad ones because it is like the dullest movie I think I've ever watched.
It's ninjas and shit, and it's still boring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I think
amazing how dull it is.
I mean, actually, I was gonna say Fan Four Stick is probably one of the worst ones I've ever seen.
Yeah,
That's up there.
that thing
And
is...
and that's like it makes the Chris Columbus ones look good,
yeah.
like really good by comparison, because at least shit happens in them.
Yeah, this movie's fucking broken.
Like that movie is like, you want to talk about missing a third act?
Yeah.
Fan Four Stick.
Like, man, when characters show up in wigs and you're like, oh, shit, they filmed this a year later. This doesn't even look like the same people.
Yeah,
It's real good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's weird. Like I don't know. Like I don't know how they write the course of this one. Like I don't know what their end game with Venom is. It's weird. Like I don't know if it's going to fold back into Spider-Man somehow. If they're just like, nah, we're going to keep this separate.
I think they were looking for properties like, what can we do?
Yeah, there like I said, there are little things in the movie that make it somewhat watchable and enjoyable. But like I said, the only thing I can criticize it being a bad movie is that it's a bad adaptation of a Venom story. That's really it. It's an okay movie otherwise.
Bummer.
oh well.
Yeah. Do you want me to just get my negative? Do you have something positive to say about your movies?
I do, yeah.
All right, this one will be quick, and believe me, I am not trying to kick a hornet's nest or anything with this one.
Okay.
I watched it, and I'm not going to say I didn't like it. I definitely liked it more than I like Venom, but I watched Won't You Be My Neighbor, and I don't know if I'm psychologically broken at this point in this
Yes.
timeline. Like, I mean, it's entirely possible that I am just emotionally fucking drained at this point in my life, but it didn't get me.
Okay.
Like, it barely came close one time. And it was actually, like, more, like, nostalgia for the gorilla, Coco the Sign Language gorilla, than Mr. Rogers.
Okay.
Like, that scene was like, oh, fuck me. Like, this, like, and that was like, I mean,
my Coco.
yeah,
I think you are broken.
I probably am.
Yeah.
I just it was a good documentary, mostly. I mean, I had a couple issues with some things, and I think Chuck mentioned this, that it was like, it seemed like it was about to, this is about to get interesting, and then they were like, yeah, swerve away from that.
Yeah, not in a salacious way or anything,
Yeah.
but just like they might be about to give you some insight into stuff, and they don't.
Yeah, I just, here's the thing, is like, I think when I finished watching this movie, strangely enough, I think I understood why Mackie hates Superman.
Wait,
Because
hold on.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna come back around.
I'm
to this.
interested to see where this goes.
Because
I don't need explaining.
This is like they make this man seem completely, totally infallible, 100% infallible throughout this movie.
It's because he was.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Nobody's fucking infallible. And
Except for Mr. Rogers. That's why he's special.
okay, well, I guess Jesus and Tooth Fairies for you, but but anyway, I'm just saying, like,
Jesus and Tooth Fairies to you.
but I mean, if you give, to have a movie that is 100% positive about somebody and not give me anything where it's like, this behind the music, like, and then this one, when this happened, it's just like, I've lost touch. I've lost credibility. I've lost believability. It's, and it's like,
Well,
I mean, we live in a cynical fucking world, and I want to believe that there is somebody as nice as they portrayed this guy to be. I just don't buy it.
it's weird to say this, but it was almost, even though we watched this movie like 10 days apart from one another, it's almost like we have been in two different worlds in those 10 days. Like, that more shit has gone down in the 10 days since I've seen it, to where I could see how someone like yourself could watch this and just go, yeah, whatever. I can't. I got nothing left in the tank.
I mean, I just, like I said, it's not that I didn't enjoy it. It's not like I don't like the person. Like I said, it's just, I felt like by the end of the movie, it was just like, oh, get the fuck out. Like, there's just no way. Like at a certain point, it was like, fuck, there's some skeleton in that fucking closet.
Well, like, okay, case in point, like when he quit doing the show and did his
those weird hippie shit.
Yeah, well, he did his I'm going to talk to adults, but I'm still going to be Mr. Rogers, and it's going to be weird. And one guy says, "Did you ever see those shows?" Like, acting like those were fucking train wrecks, but then they never give an opinion on what the fuck those things were.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, so was that ill-fated? Like, was that a train wreck? Like, what are you saying here? What are you... Because the limited clip that they show...
a field full of weed at the time? I mean, like I said, just fucking give me something. Like, at a certain point, it was like... I mean, somebody actually literally said when your dad's the fucking... One of his kids said, like, when your dad's the second coming of Jesus, basically, or Superman,
exactly.
You know, it was like, yeah, no fucking shit. Like, give me something. Nobody is this good. They have some character flaw. And there was nothing in this movie, and it was just like, I don't need to trash the person. Just like, at this point, like, you have made him beyond human, and that I've lived long enough to know that's fucking impossible.
Yeah.
Like, you know, every person we've ever revered has something deep and dark and shady in their past, and you know, and I'm sorry, I just don't fucking believe in heroes anymore.
Mr. Rogers is about the only hero I believe in at this point anymore.
Okay.
Every time this comes up, like, how is Mr. Rogers perfect? Somebody's got to have a story.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody out there somewhere has to have a Mr. Rogers story where he's a shithead to a kid, or, you know, he's out back smoking a cigarette and puts it out in a garden gnome's eye, or he's secretly got, like,
just go read about Bill Nye if you want to hear those stories.
Yeah.
But every time this comes up, there's like a thread of people that's like, well, I met Mr. Rogers. I grew up living next to Mr. Rogers. You know, my family knew Mr. Rogers growing up. I had an elevator ride with Mr. Rogers. He looked like he was having a bad day once, and he spent 20 minutes trying to make sure that I was okay. That's the thing. It's been researched.
Sure.
To death.
But
there's not a single story.
But there are things in this movie that it feels like it dangles a thread and then yanks it back and go like, no. Because they very much clearly, the mailman dude, I don't remember
Mr. McFeely.
Yeah, Mr. McFeely, like they go on the whole thing and they almost basically say that like he was trying to do the pray the gay away thing with him. Mm-hmm. And then they're just like, they dip out and don't mention that. They're just like, at 20 years later, like, I'm okay with who you are. And it's like, yeah, what happened in the other 20 years? Like, when you were trying to pray the gay away on this dude. You know, like, it's just like, they're dropping subtle hints, and people start to say something, and then it feels like it's edited.
Yeah, it's not that the documentary shows him to be perfect. It's that there are 2 or 3 occasions where it's like, okay, something's up here, and then the documentary veers wildly back and goes right back on but then he's perfect thing again. It's like, there's something here, and I'm not saying I want there to be something there. I'm saying the documentary is like, yeah, and you're like, uh-oh, and then it's like, but forget that. Here's a puppet, and it's like, wait, hold on.
He weighed 143 pounds his whole life. It's
right.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't believe you.
It's not that I think he's perfect. It's that I think there's some things that are less than perfect, and the documentary is like, yeah, maybe he's less than perfect, but look over here. Look at the shiny thing. And it's like,
okay,
hey,
fair.
come on. So,
yeah.
Maybe they just had nothing, and they're like, maybe we can
maybe
we can clickbait
that's
people.
It. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
That's what I'm choosing to believe.
That's totally fine.
I don't believe in God. I believe in Mr. Rogers.
Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah, that's it. Like I said, not a negative thing. Just like at the end, it was like, just me. I'm giant fucking softy, when it comes to movies and shit. And I was just like, maybe this needs to be an off the air thing. I want to know if it was like one specific point, and I want to know what it was, or if it was just like fucking shit throughout. You know what I mean? Because like I was like what's the moment? Like, when's it going to happen? Like, I was just expecting like a fucking bombshell of nostalgia or something where it was like, I'm going to be a weepy mess.
No, I think for me, I think what my thing currently is now, and I said this in regard to Wonder Woman when it came out, the No Man's Land scene of just the overwhelming feeling of hopelessness, and then when you're presented with someone who probably either does or did fight back against certain bad things or would have, and it just that gets to me in a way which is just like, okay, there's still some sort of hope in this world, and that's what gets me at this point, is seeing hope portrayed in some way, shape, or form, because I don't see it anywhere else.
Okay.
So,
well, yeah, I was just wondering if it was like a scene, a moment.
No.
Thing.
It's just the way it started wrapping up was like, yeah, things the way they're going down, he wouldn't have been, and he would have done whatever he could and talked to kids. Like, the way that movie sets up all the things is like, whenever something catastrophic would happen, here's Mr. Rogers to talk to you about assassination or 9/11,
that
and it's
9/11 thing was like, what the?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that was like that was.
Well, even
bad.
I mean, that was like, even he was just like, Jesus, what the hell do I say about 9/11?
That was just like, okay, I don't know.
Hey, bad things happen, kids.
Love? I don't know. It was just like
Hug
that was
your
like
mom.
that was just like the most defeatist. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even.
That was
know.
that was weird, and that kind of did feel sad. But
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my thing now is just the projection of hope.
Okay. All right.
So,
Hope.
There was one other thing. I won't mention it for people who haven't seen it. But
okay.
yeah.
I think they should have gone for a hard R for the Mr. Rogers
Yeah?
documentary. Yeah.
R for Rogers.
Yeah, then they should have called it Hard R.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this Monday to King Friday plane.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carry on.
That's all right. So I got no segue out of that.
Okay.
Last week, BJ challenged me to rewatch Event Horizon and explain why it was good. So I will do that right now.
All right. Looking forward to this.
The thing about Event Horizon that makes it a good movie, and I recognize that movie has flaws, especially in its storytelling. If you read any of the behind the scenes stuff about that, it was a fucking nightmare, where they had like 2 weeks to edit a movie, and the studio said, you need to cut 40 minutes out of this, and they're like, I don't know what 40 minutes they were talking about, yoink, and they just ripped out a whole bunch of stuff. And so when you get to the final product, it's like, yeah, I don't understand why half of this stuff is happening. Like, I have to infer a whole bunch of shit for this to make sense. But at its core, it is a haunted house movie in space. It is a spaceship that's alive. Sam Neill's fucking crazy. Lawrence Fishburne is the most common sense person in one of these movies ever. When he's presented with, they crack the code on this tape and they see that the ship has gone to the chaos dimension and everyone's fucking eating each other. He watches the tape, and as soon as it stops, he goes, "We're leaving." Shit like that doesn't happen in movies. People are always like, we got to hang out here and figure out what's going on. No, he just looks at the crew and says, "We're leaving." And he does that throughout the movie. He's just like, no, this is bullshit. Everything about this is bullshit. Look at this room. This room is fucking stupid. It's got spikes everywhere. Why would you build a ship that just has spikes everywhere? The other thing I think I like about that movie a lot is that there are things in it that I've never seen before. Like the way they do certain special effects, the way they do certain stunts. Like when the ship is decompressing towards the end and they've got Lawrence Fishburne dangling on like a rope trying to get through the airlock to another place. They've shot it in such a way, and they are just blasting him with fire extinguishers and stuff, to where it just looks cool, and it looks like something shot in a way I haven't seen it shot before. I know they're probably just getting like candy glass and phosphorus, like sparkler explosions and stuff, but there are so many shots of just the actual cast sitting in front of computers, and then those computers fucking explode, and they are just hit in the face with debris and shit. There's so much stunt work done by the actual cast in that movie. It's slow-mo, so it looks like they could have faked whatever they wanted to, but there's so much really slow-motion stunt work in that where things are just exploding and people are crashing through like desks, and it's just... I really think that had that movie had 10 more minutes in it to explain its dumb bullshit, it would be really great. So,
I think it could make it to good movie instead of good bad movie.
yeah.
But we were talking about it in Discord or something the other day,
Yeah.
and despite everything, like I can't tell you anymore. Like I can't tell you that it's. I can't figure out a way to tell you that it's a good bad movie, as opposed to a good movie.
I totally get where you're coming from.
Right, I get where you're coming from. You get where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
It's one of those rare things where
We're both right.
we're both absolutely 100% right, and there's a hair's breadth between the two.
I mean, I would argue. I mean, it's been a long time, and I think I've seen Event Horizon. Like, that like I'm going to go in the camp of it's a good bad movie only because I mean, to me, the definition of bad movie can mean a lot of things. Aged CG, check.
Oh God,
Yeah.
Big time check.
Yeah.
And B, as you said, it's an editing mess. You know, like so from a filmmaking standpoint, it's far from perfect, and so like. Just on that, it's like it. You know, if it has a troubled production history, tends to lean it more towards bad movie in general. But yes, it can be a hell of a lot of fun. But yeah, I feel like
So I should watch this at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You should. I think both of you need to.
I probably need to see her
To
in
visit it.
Horizon.
Like Sam Neill is going for it.
He is.
Which is great, but he's also falling a bit short of the mark. Like he is.
Yeah.
He is not the ideal guy to pick to be your like super evil cut, all sorts of crazy open wounds in the end of the movie.
When
bad
he's sitting
guy.
there in the captain's chair at the end, like telling them the whole evil story, you're just like,
right? That's not fucking.
I don't know.
I want to see Sam Neill looking at in awe at things,
Yeah.
not Sam Neill trying to convince me he's an evil dude. Like that. That's just total horseshit.
It is,
which
yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
but not good.
Right.
It's good bad.
Yeah. The whole thing about just a fucking chaos dimension doesn't make any fucking sense.
No.
It's just like everything's cool over here, but if you go super fast, oh man, your captain's gonna eat your face.
Boy, does it get fucky when you go fast.
Maybe that's what happened. We got going too fast.
Maybe that's yeah.
Earth
Maybe
is going too fast.
we
We
should
have
probably
to slow
check
down.
the Earth's rotation.
We got a movie to make.
Yeah.
Earth's going too fast. It's Chaos Dimension. Event Horizon 2.
It's on Earth.
Earthbound. Yeah. Earthbound Boogaloo.
It's hard to see the Event Horizon on a flat Earth.
Right.
Man, also the fact that they would just send one guy to go get this ship doesn't really make much sense. If this was some super duper top secret project that they were working on, they send just the engineer, the guy who did not like some spy spooky guys to go and clean up this mess. It's just, hey engineer, go find out what happened to your dumb ship.
They send Sam Neill and like what 6 other people.
they're
who are
they're just space ambulance drivers.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they're just
Ambulance?
crew.
Yes.
They're just crew for
Yeah.
this one ship, this
Yeah.
one garbage ship.
Yeah, they just go off and they clean up messes, and then Sam Neill, who's like, "Yeah, I built that thing. It's basically warp drive, but dumb."
I mean, the concept's good.
Yeah.
Fold space, whatever. That's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chaos Dimension bad.
Yes, you don't want to go to the chaos dimension. It's pure evil. Yeah, so we need you two to weigh in on Event Horizon.
All right. Somebody put it on your Plex so I can watch it
Okay.
without having to pay for it.
Right. Yes.
I want to be clear about that.
Yeah. I had an experience watching that too because I ran into my first Blu-ray disc that completely rotted. Like I knew it was a problem with DVDs. I didn't think it was going to be a problem with Blu-rays, but yeah, like the glue or whatever started to detach, and it's just
Welcome to the future.
yeah. But I did scan the barcode on Voodoo and get a digital copy. I was an hour into it, and I was
Oh,
fucking
man.
pissed. I was just like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Scan this whatever."
$2.
Bring me my Event Horizon. No. Work your voodoo.
Yeah. So in that regard, the 21st century is okay.
Yeah.
in terms that you can just go, oh, this thing's broken. Well, scan. Okay, now I've got a
Yeah.
digital copy.
So what else did you watch?
That's all I got.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
Finished season 1 of Westworld. Woo, I'm way caught up. No. Still have another season. I'm behind.
I just quit now.
Yeah, just quit now. Are you one of the season 2's bad people?
Season 2 has the best episode of the series.
It does.
However,
Yeah. I'm not watching season 3 of Westworld.
Really?
Yeah.
you might get more out of season 2 because you have just watched season 1.
Okay.
Because they reference a whole bunch of shit from season 1 that, like, people like us who waited 18 months for it to come back were like, yeah, I forgot all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
There will be certain characters who will run in the 6th episode, and it's like, oh, it's that person. I'm like, who is that person?
Yeah.
Who is that?
So you'll get more out of
Yeah, I
watching
think I
it back
probably
to
will.
back.
Yeah. So maybe, but yeah. Season 1 is great. Season 2 was just them jerking off to HBO's money. Except for one really great episode.
Okay.
Like, just fucking fantastic.
Yeah. It's
right.
actually kind of like Torchwood. There's a run of like 3 in a row in the middle of the season where you're like,
Oh,
"God
they
damn,
fixed
this
it."
show's fucking awesome again.
Yeah,
and
and
then
then-
yeah, they kind of
Yeah.
go off the rails because they abandon that
Yeah.
too quickly.
But you should definitely watch it. I mean, you'll want to see for yourself what they've done.
Okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's all I got.
All
We
right.
got any correspondence or anything?
Nah.
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 People thought we were going to be hit by a hurricane, so they didn't write.
It's true.
They didn't say
didn't call.
R.I.P. in peace or
They
anything.
should have called in to say, "There you are, rock you like a hurricane."
Yes, there you are.
Yeah, why didn't
Could
we
have
plan a
gotten
heist?
Josh to sing it.
Should have planned a heist.
We should have planned
Are
a
you sure I
heist.
didn't?
Oh,
Go
Yes,
check the
because
Gulf
you're
Coast.
here right now.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You've already
Plausible
you've already
deniability.
stolen my heart.
I know. I know.
Well, that's why I can't cry at Mr. Rogers
I know.
because you stole my heart.
I know.
I'd like it back.
No.
Please.
I'm currently using it for
Fine.
strategic
Hardery.
purposes.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've lived through a hurricane,
Yeah.
how would people send their congratulations?
BMF at BMFcast.com, 910-5JOCKS-BMF, BMFcast.com, the website,
The flamethrower.
which contains links and stuff.
It does.
Patreon.com/BMFcast. Give us your money.
Cha-ching.
That's
All right.
it.
Yeah.
That's all I got today.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let's get out of here, shall we?
Okie dokie.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And this is BMFcast out. Bye.
Good night.
You're right there, Arnold Palmer.
Shut the fuck up. That was a birdie. Fuck you.
Why does he want water and punch? Stupid kid.
That was a fucking birdie.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Gals.
So.
All right. I guess I'm going to take us offline because we got some business to talk to you about. I don't know.
Do we? What?
No.
Yeah.
I just want to make it sound official. That's why we don't have post-show banter.
We have business.
Yeah, we got to go punch some hurricanes and
Business.
stop them from. Oh wait, they're already in Georgia. I don't know where the fuck the thing is.
Right.
It's in Georgia. It's fine.
It's in Georgia. Yeah, it's made in Georgia. So it is made in the Caribbean.